Every single video game has those moments that make you go, and Final Fantasy XIV is no exception. Here's a list of the 10 most epic moments in Final Fantasy XIV, and in case you didn't know, beware of spoilers, obviously. Number 10 is the moment when Gaius and Estinian fight Xenos. While the main Scions are on the first, Totaro and Krau convince, and by convince I mean stalk Estinian all throughout Kugane until he gives in to their demands, they convince him to help track down Black Rose, the Empire's bioweapon. This causes him to run into Gaius and his crew, who are on a similar mission. Since it only makes sense, the two of them team up and end up in Garlemald when Xenos murders his father. Seeing the Emperor die, Gaius attacks Xenos, and Estinian backs him up, ending with the two of them combining their signature moves to attack the Lich King 2.0. It doesn't do anything, and if Xenos hadn't decided to leave, both men would have likely ended up dead, but it was still a very cool moment to watch. Number 9 was epic more because I didn't expect it than anything else. It was the moment where Urianger showed you the real purpose of the move Rescue. After Ranj'it cornered you and Y'shtola in the Ronkan Temple, Y'shtola, going by Master Matoya at the time, dove into the gaping hole to save the cure for the poison the Umorans had given to the Knights Blessed. This was noble, but Ranj'it had already overpowered you once with his old man strength, and it was unlikely that the Warrior of Light would come out on top in this round either. Enter Urianger and Thancred. Before Ranj'it could administer another whooping to the Warrior of Light, Urianger rescues him right into the pit. To make sure he falls, Thancred hops out and bashes him in the head with his gunblade, but the real winner of that round was Urianger, which is why you don't tick off your healers, at least during the time when Rescue's not on cooldown. Number 8 is the final battle of Stormblood where Hien, Yugiri, and Lyse hold off Elidibus until the Warrior of Light shows up. We all know that the Warrior of Light is strong, but this is a moment where we get to see just how strong we are compared to some of the other highly capable characters that we hang out with. After Xenos' death, Elidibus takes his body and joins the Garleans on the battlefield. This is the moment where Hien, Lyse, and Yugiri triple team him to try and take down the sword-wielding Psycho. You take control of Hien and you fight the Ascian-controlled Garlean in a battle that is obvious that you can't win, while a bar on the side of the screen fills up slowly as the Warrior of Light sprints across the Gimlet Dark toward the battlefield. After Elidibus pulls off some magic with Xenos' massive Garlean body, something that Hien says is hardly fair, the samurai nearly blacks out, but not before the Warrior of Light arrives and demonstrates her superiority by fighting the Ascian one-on-one. It's a moment that wouldn't be out of place in any anime, and that's why it's on this list. Number 7 is the moment where Thancred shows that the best tank is a rogue. After the Scions got framed for the murder of the Sultana, they were forced to flee Ul'dah. Y'shtola used her trusty teleport spell that she's yet to get right to yeet her and Thancred away. She got lost in the live stream and Thancred lost his ability to wield ether and his clothes. While hunting for him, the Warrior of Light, Y'shtola, Krau, and Alphinaud come face to face with Ardbert and his Warriors of Darkness, fresh from the first. You all start to get spanked, but Thancred jumps in wielding what I swear is a Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts, and holds off Ardbert himself. I'm sorry, but tanking as a rogue and not dying definitely earned Thancred some cool points. Not like he needed any more. Number 6 is the moment when Raubahn overpowers all of Ishgard's champions with one arm just so he could fight you one-on-one. During Heavensward, in an attempt to bring the nations together, a contest is held where squads from all 4 major nations, Ishgard, Ul'dah, Gridania, and Limsa Lominsa, face off against one another because nothing brings people together better than a few punches to the face. During the match, Raubahn swats everyone away like flies and creates a ring of fire around the two of you just because he wants to fight you. The fact that he has that much power with only one arm makes you wonder just how well could he have matched up to the Warrior of Light if Ardbert hadn't blindsided the Bull of Alamigo and cut his arm off. Number 5 is the moment when the Scions face off against Hydaelyn. I knew this fight was coming from the moment Vanad challenged us to a match in Elpis. What I didn't expect was the chance to do this fight as a trust with the Scions. In preparation for the mission to travel to Ultima Thule to defeat Meteon and stop the final days, the Scions go deep into the Ethereal Sea to talk to Hydaelyn. The goddess decides to test your worth and your ability to succeed when you come face to face with Meteon by using the power that she saved up to try and kill you all. The Scions, having killed a few gods in their time, take it in stride and face off against the being who they had served for a very long time. It was a cool moment, one that shows that while the Warrior of Light is strong, all of the major Scions are powerful in their own right, which brings up the question, which of the Scions is actually the strongest underneath the Warrior of Light? I'd say if we're talking about Crystal Exarch G'rahatia, then it's definitely him. But with him not being able to wield the power of the Crystal Tower, I'd say it's a toss-up between him and Estinian, since Estinian is running around with the power of Nidhogg. Number 4 is the moment when Hraesvelgr gives you his eye. After convincing Hraesvelgr to help take down Estinian, who had been fully transformed into Nidhogg, he goes toe-to-toe with his brother in a battle that shakes the heavens, a battle that he loses badly. Nidhogg taunts him for his weakness, and he can't believe that Hraesvelgr thought that he could avoid fighting for so long, yet still be a match for his brother who had been fighting for 1,000 years non-stop. The dragon admits that he never thought he could beat his battle-hardened brother, so he decided to give the power to someone who could. He reveals his missing eye, and Nidhogg sees the Warrior of Light powering up with the relic as she walks toward him. He roars at you and the final battle with Nidhogg begins. Moments like this one are why Heavensward is such a loved expansion. Number 3 goes to the moment when we get to see Shinryu again. After seeing Ultima Thule and experiencing the final days of so many different worlds, the Scions come face to face with the Endsinger. She proceeds to pummel them, going so far as to suck them up in a whirlwind and throw a planet at them. Having no other choice, the Warrior of Light uses the device the Loporrits gave to her to teleport back to the ship and tosses it into the tornado to save her friends from certain death. But that left her alone with the creepy bird-faced lady. The Warrior of Light prepares to do her best and fight alone when the sky starts to crack and Shinryu flies in. Zenos wanted to fight the Warrior of Light so bad that he made a deal with Krau to help the Scions if she told him where they were. Then he ate what was left of Hydaelyn's ether and flew across the universe in dragon form. But he's confused about why your prey isn't already dead because it couldn't possibly be a match for you. Since the thing is an obstacle in the way of what he wants, the Warrior of Light and Zenos charge into battle together to face the Endsinger. When this first happened, I got caught completely off guard. I never expected to go into the final trial riding on Shinryu's back, but that moment was so cool that it still puts a smile on my face. Number 2 comes right after the last one, both in number and in the game. It's the moment where Zenos and the Warrior of Light finally get their rematch. With the Endsinger dead, the final days have been stopped. Etheris is saved, so your duty as a hero is done. Now the Warrior of Light can go back to her true calling as an adventurer, seeking greater and greater challenges and thrills. And the first one is having a test of your reflexes at the hands of your crazy stalker. Out at the edge of the universe, the Warrior of Light and Zenos have a fight that would make Goku and Vegeta proud, where they use every technique at their disposal, and despite having their health bars hit 0 multiple times, they keep fighting on sheer willpower alone, until the Warrior of Light hits Zenos with a Falcon Punch! And puts an end to the battles once and for all. That leads us into number 1, the single most epic moment in the game by leaps and bounds. The moment the Warrior of Light and Ardbert decide to fight as one. So after experiencing Emet-Selch's recreated Amaurot, the Scions face off against the unsundered Ascian. While he reminds them of their true place in the food chain, the Warrior of Light struggles forward as the light ether consumes her from within. After all of the Scions fall and she begins to turn into a Sin Eater, Ardbert poses a question. If you had the strength to take another step, could you save both our worlds? The Warrior of Light gives him a look that says, "Why are you asking me that stupid question?" And Ardbert hands her his axe, saying, "Take it, we'll fight as one." Then the light bursts out of the Warrior of Light, fully in her control now that she's powered up, and for a second Emet-Selch sees her in her true form, Azem. Now let's not get it twisted, the Warrior of Light was going to get those cheeks clapped in a one-on-one fight with Emet-Selch, but G'rahatia reaches out across time and space to summon more champions from across the rift to fight alongside you. Since you're ready to do this, Emet-Selch decides not to hold back. He puts on his mask and lets you know that his true name is Hades, and you're about to die. That moment easily took the top spot, and to be honest, they will never top this moment. Normally I'd ask what you guys think is the most epic moment, but there's no debate this time. You can shift things around in all of the other spots, but the lead up to the fight with Emet-Selch is by far the coolest moment in this game. If you enjoyed my list, support the channel through the link in the description and be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time guys, later.